And now, Journey to Success with Pete Asmus. Tonight, mindset to action steps and everything in between. We are about you, focusing on what you need to get to that next level. So get ready, get excited, because we are about to get started. From coast to coast, your host, Pete, the visionary pitbull, Asmus. All right. There we go. Hey guys, this is Pete Asmus, Pete Action Asmus. Welcome to Journey to Success. I'm trying to figure everything out as I'm going along here. It is, let's see, what's the date today? We've got it, it should be March 8th, 2015. Can you believe that? Today is Sunday night, and as always, it is Journey to Success right here at 6 p.m. Pacific. I want to welcome all of you guys here. For the next hour, we're going to be talking about how to really take and go through your journey to success. Everybody's journey is different, right? The reality is you guys cannot take my journey. You can only really get tools from what I'm going to be sharing with you to help you on your own journey. But we can't take the journey for you. Tonight, we're going to be talking a lot about how to find your own value. That's part of, I kind of tied it in together with the nonverbal communication, because I really feel like a lot of what we do nonverbally when we're communicating to other people and even to ourselves, we're really telling everybody what we're worth. We're telling everybody what our value is, right? And we're showing everybody what we expect. And I think that that's a big thing. And we're going to talk a lot about that tonight on how to really get the best value out of you and how to find your opportunities and how to really succeed with them, how to go out and grab them, all right? So there's going to be a lot of cool things happening tonight. I want to thank all of you guys for being on here tonight. We've got 23 people here so far, so that's awesome. If you look right over to the right, you're going to see that little strip down the side. It has, you can ask questions, you can chat, you can do all kinds of things. If you hear me do this, I'm just trying to get the microphone to go back down so it stops spiking. And I cannot tell you, I cannot figure out why it's doing that, but it is doing that, and it does it every single week for some reason. So until I get that handled, and it just seems like it's not on the top of my priority list to get handled. So with that, though, I want to go ahead and start tonight. We're on Questions Are the Key. This is Chapter 2. We're going to be talking about nonverbal communication and how to find your value. One of the really big things that's been happening to me really part of 2015. I think anybody that's been watching me for some time now has seen a lot of just transition, but a lot of movement and action, right? And I think what's neat is you guys are about to see where all of that payoff comes from. The reality is anything that's worth doing is worth doing a lot of, and it's worth failing over and over and over again to get it the right way, right? And so that means relationships, that means partnerships, that means ideas, strategies, all of those things encompass this. And I think a lot of times we get distracted and we feel like, well, you know what, I've got to be this way or I've got to be that way. And we think that I've got to reach this level, but we're not looking at what it takes to reach it. We're looking at where we want to be, right? And we're focusing on that, but we're not focusing on what it's actually going to take to get there. And even more importantly, I think sometimes we're to the point where it's not that we don't want to take the action, we're just scared. We're scared to take the action. We're scared to go out there. We're scared to put everything out there. We're scared to risk everything. We're scared to fail. We're scared people will make fun of us. We're scared people will look down on us. We're scared of all kinds of things. But the challenge is, if we don't go out and do anything, we're never going to get where we want to get. And so we've got to start talking to ourselves differently and start really empowering ourselves and finding that value and seeing that, look, we are worth this. I'm worth this. I'm worth this. And every day we've got to notch that worth up. It's all a stair step. It's all about reaching that goal, reaching that level one step at a time. You don't have to look at it all at once, right? Or make one big jump. As I've been talking about, I've been talking about being on TV for years now, right? I mean, and even every time I've went to hit something and I got someplace and then it didn't happen, it's not like that dream or that idea left. It was still right there, but it's like, okay, I'm not ready. So what do I need to do to prepare to get ready? Because next time I get this opportunity, I don't want to be standing there going, well, I wish I had done things differently, right? And I say this all the time. Make decisions based on who you are or who you want to become, not who you are, right? Not who you've become. And so yesterday I got an email out of the blue from the TV producer that I met a year ago and went out to LA, met him, and it was, okay, we're going to send you a contract. I want to send you, what was it called? A talent contract so that he could be representing me. And just kind of nothing happened, right? And it was interesting because I remember thinking, well, whatever. And then I started looking at myself and I'm like, well, why wouldn't they choose me, right? Because I know my personality is awesome. And I'm not being stupid about that, and I'm not being like ridiculous and saying, hey, look at me, I'm so great. That's not what I mean. But I do know for a fact that I do have a great and an outgoing personality. And I know that in that circumstance, it would work, right? I know that I can make people laugh. I know that I'm creative. I know that I've got energy. I know that I can express it very well. And back then, a year and a half ago, I had to look at, okay, well, why did they say no? Why did they walk away? Why didn't he want to look harder in? And look, it could have been a million different reasons. It could have been, this reason, that reason. And I know the major reason was because what they were looking for, the show that they were looking to build, I wouldn't have been a right fit for. It wasn't where I even felt comfortable, right? And so every time he would tell me what they wanted to do, I would start skewing it to, well, you know what? What about this? What about this? What about this? Because I wanted it to be authentic to what I wanted, right? And I didn't want to change to become somebody else in order to do that, because it would have been fake. And if it was fake, people would have seen it. I mean, it's just the way it is. I'm very emotional, right? So the reality is, if I'm excited about something, you know it. If I'm upset about something, you know it. If I'm neutral, I don't say anything. Now, there's certain things that I've been doing to get better at, right? Being quiet, listening more, paying attention to other people and what they want, and seeing how I can connect that. But at the end of the day, I know I'm an excited personality. So my question went back to, well, then why did they walk away? Because this is a dream. This is a passion. I mean, I want it more than anything. So why did that happen? And again, it goes back to questions, right? Just like the title of what we're talking about. It went back to why. And I thought, you know what? I haven't accomplished enough. I haven't done enough. I'm not far enough along. They couldn't base the show off of me. Whatever it was, I looked at it as it's my fault. Now, a lot of you would say, well, that's crazy. Why would you think it's your fault? Look, it could have been this, it could have been that. Yes, but all those other reasons I can't control. I have zero control over that. But what I do have control over is building a better brand. What I do have control over is going out and getting more active and doing more things and really finding a better voice, so that when I do have this chance again, or when I go and create this chance, that it's there, right? So interestingly enough, the fact that this gentleman emailed me yesterday, and then I responded back to him. I responded with, I have no idea who you are. That was my response to him. I have no idea who you are, because the email was something like, hey, I met you a year ago in Tujunga Valley, and I wanted to know if you were still interested in, designing a show around you, right? And so I'm thinking he's talking about the radio show, and it's like, look, man, I have no idea who you are. And then he responds back with, well, I met you with this person, and we were talking about this. I met your wife afterwards and your kids, and all of a sudden it was like, okay, now I know who this is, right? Interesting. And so I'm like, wow, that's cool. Let me tell you a little bit about what I'm doing. I've now become part of a company. I'm partners with these guys, and we're in Phoenix. We've done over 10,000 sales. We've done over $1 billion in sales, or 10,000 transactions. We've done over $1 billion in sales. We have over 700 properties under contract. We're looking at putting something else out in Dallas and growing our market because of the way that we're expanding. We do flip after flip after flip. We're helping investors on a regular basis really achieve 16% and higher returns, and not even annualized. When you're talking about annualized, we're looking at 30 and 40%. I just, by the way, my announcement for tomorrow that you guys will hear right now, I just purchased the second largest real estate group on LinkedIn. Thank you very much. You guys are the first to hear that news, and I'm telling you right now, that is insane. There's 113,000 people in that group. It grows by 500 to 1,000 people every single week. Of those 500 to 1,000 people, I can send out individual emails to those people as they join, inviting them to learn how to do training, inviting them to check out the webinars that we do, inviting them to check out the radio show. I mean, there's so many different variables that I can bring into this to create an opportunity that it's crazy, and I just closed on that. I have a magazine that just is about to be launched. I've just written my first article for it. I believe the other article has been written. This should be being launched in the next week or two. And so I've got U.S. Real Estate Journal magazine. That's a magazine coming out. I've got the second largest real estate group on LinkedIn now. I've got the radio show that we're going to be putting back out and doing. We've got all these other assets that we're working with. I mean, how does that not show credibility to the very least, right? And here's the thing. It's all about perception. And whether you think that that's true or not, I'm just telling you right now, it's all about perception. If I put a Paneri or a Philippe Patek watch on you, even if you're wearing sweats, if somebody that knows watches sees that watch and knows that watch costs $15,000, they instantly know you must be successful to some degree. It's about perception. It's all about perception. And here's the big thing. It's about perception to us too. So when we look in the mirror and we're dressed like crap, we feel like crap and we perform like crap. I got dressed again. If you guys notice, second week in a row, I'm not wearing sweats. I'm not wearing a hat. I'm dressed, dialed in. Why? Because not only are you worth it for me to do this, but I'm worth it. I'm worth it. I want you to see the value in me. I'm not a slob. I am very dialed in. Now, come summer when you make me come in from the pool and do this, that might be a little bit different, but I'll still probably throw on a button-up shirt because it's about setting a reputation, setting a level and where you want to be, right? People are going to view you. Make decisions based on who you want to be, not who you've become. When I started thinking about the meeting that I'm going to have this week with the TV producer, I started getting nervous again. I started kind of freaking out going, man, the last thing I want is to go and have this meeting. And I'm being completely honest with you guys. The last thing I want to do is go and have this meeting and then have him walk away again. I mean, that would suck, right? But here's the other alternative. So what am I going to do? Just not go and have it? So if I'm going to go and have it, I started thinking about this today. If I'm going to go and do the meeting and I'm not going to not do it, right? Then what would the person, the me that got the part, the me that got the show, what would that person do? What would that person say? And once I thought like that, I got excited about the meeting. Because now I'm in the mode of, man, I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to show him. I'm going to walk up. I'm going to command that table when I sit down. And I'm going to show him exactly why I should be on TV. And I'm going to tell him exactly everything that I have going on and give him all of the credibility pieces that back up why I deserve to be there. Does that make sense? What have you guys set up that shows people why you deserve to be there? What have you set up that shows people why you? Why you? Why should they do business with you? Why should they invest with you? Right? It's pretty now again, I'm going to tell you what I get to say right now, but I didn't always get to say this. And I think that this is the disadvantage of you hearing this because now you're thinking, well, that's the only reason that Pete is successful. And that's bullshit because that is not the only reason that I'm successful. I have fought tooth and nail to create what I've created. It's been hard. It's been struggle. I've failed. I've had months where I didn't make anything. 2, 3, 4 months. I didn't make anything. But I didn't share that with the world. I didn't sit there and talk about how negative my life was. I didn't talk about how I was getting beat up here or getting beat up there. I didn't talk about any of that. I said, man, today is going to be an awesome day. I lifted people up. I told everybody how amazing life was. Even though I didn't feel that way, I talked about it that way. and I created it. Now, my life is where I want it to be, right? And it's not even exactly right where I want it to be totally, but holy cow, you know how like you have that feeling when you're next in, like you have this long line, you've waited an hour at a amusement park to get on a ride, right? I know all of you guys have been on rides before, right? That when you were a kid, you waited forever and then you're next. You're next. And you're right at the front. Man, it's the seat you wanted. It's everything you wanted. It's right there and you are next. That's how I feel right now. I feel like I'm next. Because I can see it. It's not like I'm at the back of the line looking up going, geez, Louise, man, I don't get it. Because let me tell you, some of you are at the back of the line. Some of you are comparing your chapter 1 to my chapter 20. Or your chapter 1 to Bob or Frank or Julie or Sam or whoever. You're comparing it to others when, guess what? We each have our own book. So stop trying to plagiarize somebody else's book. It doesn't work. You've got to write your own. And guess what? Your own is going to come with your own bumps and bruises. It's going to come with your own trips to the hospital. It's going to come with your own scares and fright and losing things and failing and winning and achieving and becoming. But if you don't start writing your own book now, when are you? When are you going to take your life into your own hands and start penning your life? When are you going to say that it's time for you to take it to that next level, right? For me, it was 2015. And in fact, I think the book that I have, I think the problem I'm having, the biggest problem I'm having with the second book is I think it's the title. I think I need to change it to Break It to Make It, because I feel like that's really where I was. And it was questions that helped me break myself down and questions that helped me lift myself back up. And let me tell you, everything is a challenge. We all go through different challenges. So it's not like my challenges are any harder or simpler than yours. They may just be different, but they suck just as much. They're just as unfun to go through, right? A lesson is never something that you enjoy doing. It's typically something that really, really, it hurts. And that's why we learn so much from it, because we never want it to happen again, right? You know, I don't feel so bad about the fact that I wasn't where I wanted to be when I wanted to be there. I mean, by 35, I wanted to be a multi-million. It was just a crazy dream, right? I was a kid. I wasn't focused. And now that I am focused and I see what it takes to get places, it's crazy, because the better your connections are, the easier it is to make money. The bigger your connections are, the easier it is to make big money. I've got a project going on right now in Dallas that we're doing. We're going to be pushing. Our goal is to get it up to 40 homes a month. Right now, we've already been told we're committed at 8 to 10 homes a month, of which we get about, let's just say for fun, $5,000. All right. $5,000 per property at 10, that's 50 grand a month. If we get it up to 40, that's 200 grand a month, of which I didn't do anything. I just created the bridge. I made the contacts. I created the solution. I masterminded, I guess, right? I saw the vision. I had the vision to make this happen. Not only that, but because of that, we're now going to be taking out property management. We're going to start another company out there and grow our property management company. So it's not just in Arizona, but it'll be out in Phoenix, it'll be out in Dallas as well. So it'll be the second state that we move into. It's insane. I mean, I really can't. I wish I could explain to you guys how I've done what I've done, but it's impossible, because it was a bunch of little things that made everything happen. It was things that I didn't get paid for. It was the last 3 years of really building up a brand that I never made a dollar off of at all. It was doing the radio show every single day for a year and a half and not making really anything. But I made connections. I saw far enough into the future that I knew that if I built a platform and I got these really bigger people on that I could talk to and I could communicate with and I could build up and I could support, that there'd be a chance and an opportunity later for me to create a bridge. And that's exactly what I did. I did exactly what I intended to do. Freaking verbatim what I intended to do. Build the platform. I don't care. I remember in the very beginning going, look, even if even if Coast to Coast didn't blow up, I was going to build my name and my brand so nobody could take that away again. I did that. Even if Coast to Coast goes away, it doesn't matter. Pete Asmus, everybody knows now. The person that I am. I've got 3 years of being out in public, every single day out in public. Like, I don't hide anything. I let people in. They saw everything that I do. Or they see everything that I do, right? I built a platform of social. And part of why I did that was because of what happened to my daughter. It's crazy, but some of this stuff is just happenstance. It's not that I intended it. It was, all right, my daughter has alopecia. She's bald. She's going to feel, I feel like people are going to make fun of her. I feel like people are going to, I'm worried about how I would feel. And I don't know how she would feel, right? As a parent, I'm focused on, oh my gosh, what is going to happen in the future? And so I wanted to turn something that I saw as negative into something positive. And I think it's just not me that thinks that it's negative. I think a lot of people think that that's a negative thing, right? It's not fun. You know what I mean? She's going to be treated differently. And so it's like, okay, well, if that's going to happen, and there's nothing I can do about that, she's going to be treated differently, then man, by all means, I'm going to make sure she's treated differently in an awesome way. In an awesome way. Not in a belittling way, not in a demeaning way, but I'm going to make sure everybody knows who my daughter is because she is an incredible human being. And that's what I've gone out to do. That's why, and here's what's nuts. So I pushed, encouraged, inspired, you know what I mean? Use whatever word you want, her to create a book to talk about how she kind of felt. And then I wanted to kind of guide that idea and what it could be. And from that, her and Madison came up with Queen Alopecia. We wrote the first book. It's all done. Go to queenalopecia.com. You can check it out and read it. It's 40 pages, super fast. Haley now has been writing as her goals. She wants to write a second book. She is now ready to and wants to write a second book. And in fact, she's starting to write sentences for it. She's understanding rhyming. So I'm going to have her actually help me write the next book. Because of this, Madison now is going, I see all this positive attention. I want to write a book too. I promise you, by the time my children are 10, they will have made $1 million through entrepreneurship, whether it be through doing real estate, whether it be through writing books. It doesn't matter. But I have that as a goal for them. To create, to really show them how to become independently wealthy so that, you know what, if I can show that them by 10, I don't care what the school system does. They can't ruin them at that point. They can't. I just showed them how to make $1 million by the time, before they were 10. Please try and screw that up for me. There's no way. I don't know what I was going to say. I was about to go off though, so I'll stop and I won't go nuts and lose my mind. I'm sorry. I know I've got kind of on a crazy rant there, but I'll get back on track here. And Gil, I see that you can't see my cam. It is absolutely up. Does anybody else have a problem with not being able to see the camera real quick? And that's part of what the benefit for you guys is that on the weekends, you guys get to see, or on these times, you guys get to see the actual interaction, right? And this is part of what today is all about, nonverbal communication. So all of you guys listening, you guys all could hear what I said, but all of you guys watching me, I think there's a little bit different skew to everything. You can see the intensity behind me. You can see my face. You can see my hands. You can see if I'm just sitting here going, man, I care so much. Right? And you could just tell, man, he doesn't care at all. Or you can see the fact that I haven't taken my eyes off of the camera and I'm dead staring right at you. I'm looking at all of you because I understand what it's like to be in a situation where you feel helpless, where you're sweating at 3 a.m. in the morning. Except now I'm up at 3 a.m., but I can't sleep because I'm so excited. I feel like it's Christmas tomorrow. But it only feels like Christmas because all year long, I was creating all the presents. I was making them. I wasn't waiting for Santa to come. I was my own Santa. How many of you guys are waiting for that to come? How many of you are waiting for somebody to save you? You're waiting for somebody to take care of you. You're waiting for somebody. And some of you may say, well, it's not me. It's not me. I'm willing to do whatever. Okay. Whatever, as long as it's convenient, whatever, as long as it sounds okay, whatever, as long as it sounds fun. Or are you really willing to do whatever it takes? Because I'm going to promise you 60% of the whatever it takes in the beginning sucks. And that's usually what takes people out. They don't want to work through the work. They don't want to put in the work. They just want the reward. But the reward is nothing without the work. If I hand you $1 million, I've ruined your life. And some of you may go, no, that's crazy. You haven't. I have. Look at lottery winners. They're making $40,000 a year, right? Everything's going fine. They're betting on the lottery, betting on the lottery, betting on the lottery. Boom, they hit $1 million. Oh my God, life, or let's say 10 million. Woo, life is great. I took home $10 million. My life will never, ever suck again. They go and they spend it on all of a sudden a house, $3 million. They got this, they got this, they got this, and boom, it's gone. Now what? Do they know how to generate $10 million again? No, they don't. So how are they going to make that? They're going to go back to the lottery, and I hope I win, I hope I win, I hope I win. But the chances of them hitting the lottery twice, I think like one person has done that. It's not a good business plan, right? The fact is they don't know how to make that money, and now that they've had that much money, they don't want to go back to making 40 grand. Are you kidding me? That's nothing. So the fact is that it destroyed them because they were given that kind of money. People that haven't made it have no idea how to manage it at all. So all of you that are wishing you could make $1 million right now, that could be the worst thing that could happen unless you figured out how to make it over and over and over and over again. Create a life. Stop looking for a vacation. Make your life like a vacation, right? Create the life that you want by setting your goals and by driving after them like a bat out of hell. Don't let anything get in your way. Don't let people tell you that you can't do it. Don't let people tell you that you're not smart enough, that you don't have enough money, that you don't have enough time, that you don't have enough this, that you don't have enough that. You have whatever you want. Whatever your main focus is, whatever your main priority is, believe me, it's being taken care of right now. Because if you were starving, you wouldn't be listening to me. You'd be finding something to eat. So realize that you have what you want. If you don't like what you have, start changing your desire and your want. Because right now you want to have the life you have more than you want to have the life that you could have if you worked harder, if you changed some things. That's just the reality. One of the major things I had to change was getting back on the phone. I hated doing it. I just didn't want to get on the phone because, man, if I get on the phone and talk to somebody for 45 minutes, that's going to require way more work. I just know it because I'm going to start talking to them. As soon as I start talking, I'm going to start to see some opportunities. And with opportunities means I have to go do more work. So I would want to say, hey, great, Gil, why don't you go talk to this person? Or, hey, Mike, why don't you talk to this person? Because if I had to talk to them, now I had to do the fulfillment, right? So it was easier to push it off and to connect them with somebody that I felt like could better assist. And so, and by the way, that was just random. That wasn't like literally what I meant. But I realized that I needed to start taking some of these really high level conference calls and I needed to start doing them myself. That nobody could see my vision better than me, right? And upon doing that, that's where everything changed for me this year. Because I started putting my life together instead of waiting for other people. And I mean, I'm dead serious. Even like me handing them over to Ivan and Scott. The best thing that could have happened for me was us being able to split and them taking on their own thing and going on their own way and me going on my own way, because it helped us both grow significantly. They'd become too much of a crutch for me. I was relying on them for everything. I mean, I literally was just passing everything along. Just, here you go. Here's the right person. Here's that. I thought that I organized my life so well that I allowed myself more time, when in reality, I cost myself opportunities because they didn't know what I was thinking. And it's not their fault. It was my fault, 100%. And until I took responsibility for that, and until I said that I'm going to change and I'm going to find my value, and I'm going to make sure that other people see that value as well, I wouldn't have been able to be where I am right now. The best thing that happened for me was falling. The best thing that happened for me was not winning right off the bat. Even when I was a kid, the best thing that could have happened to me was the fact that I was homeless. Because, man, you can't take anything away. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? For me, it can't really get worse. I mean, my parents kicked me out, right? I was homeless. Like, nobody loved me. So it's like, for me, I don't know. There isn't a worst. I want to create the life I want. I don't want to look back and look at how my life was. I don't want to even look at where my life is, because it's not where I want it even today. I want to look at where my life is going to be. I want to make decisions based on where my life is going to be, because that person has value. That person people look up to. That person, somebody is introducing that guy and saying, because of you, this all is possible. And that's something I will hear in my lifetime. I'm all about the emotions. Now, all of us have different triggers, right? For me, it's the feeling. What am I going to feel like? What do I want to feel like? And how do I get there? Everything isn't just about money. There's financial gain and there's social gain. There's all kinds of value. Find your value. Find it and then offer it. All of you have a value. All of you either have time, money, or you have knowledge. You've got to have one of them, right? There's no way that you're going to tell me you don't have any money, you don't have any knowledge, and you don't have any time. Believe me, you're not going to get anywhere then. So you're going to have to find the time, and that time is going to come from sleep or something. Because in order to get time, or in order to get the knowledge or the experience, you got to put in the time. If you don't want to do that, then you're going to have to come up with the money. But it's going to be one of those three things. Figure out which one that you have that you can give, right? Time, knowledge, or money, and trade for the other. Some of you have money and you just want to learn how to do something great. Get a coach, get a consultant, do something like that. Some of you don't have any money, but you have time, right? Great. Then find somebody that can mentor you, that you can start doing all the work that they don't want to do. And we're going to say, yeah, it's going to suck. And yeah, you're going to feel like you're being used and walked over. But the other alternative is stay where you are. Stay where you are. Complain about life. Complain about how nothing is right. And keep bitching about life. Or shut your mouth and get up and just go make it happen. I had to bite my tongue and bite my pride and give up everything that I felt like I earned, I deserved, and everything, and start over again. Because I had my ass handed to me. I've had to do that 3 times, I think, in my life now, right? But it didn't mean that I stopped. It meant I stopped doing that for a little bit. But it didn't mean I gave up on life. And I think a lot of times what we do is when we get challenged, when we get knocked down, and I mean knocked down. My son had cancer, brain cancer. Then my daughter has alopecia. Right? I have this big project in Phoenix like 5-6 years ago that I'm doing, and the contractor bails out, and it cost me a ridiculous amount of money. I mean, a lot of money, okay? So I understand getting hit in the face with a 2x4. I get it, man. I get it. I was homeless when I was a kid. My parents didn't want me. I mean, I got every story that anybody wants to share. Great. I'll step up on stage with you and we can box it out about how much our life sucks. But that's just a waste of energy and it's completely ignorant. Why would I want to sit there and focus on all those negative things? All that's going to do is show me how less valuable I am. At least in my own mind, right? Where other people might think, oh, no, that's a valuable thing because you've been through that. You know that. That's an experience. Now that you have that experience, you can share with other people. You can help them. You can build them up. Great. But sometimes when we're looking at our own lives, we don't feel like that. We feel like I'm a loser, man. I didn't make it. I can't believe this. Like, if my parents didn't love me, how could anybody else love me? Unconditionally. Are you kidding me? Yet here I am now with a wife that is amazing. And I've got 3 beautiful children with her, and I've got another one on the way. So I get that, here's the other thing, man. It's so crazy. Sometimes when really just, because even every week I'll go through where I don't have great days, right? Where I just feel like stuff sucks. And I always think, when I feel like that, I always think, you know what? Thank God I feel like this. Like, I'm so grateful. Because if I didn't feel like this, I wouldn't know what feeling awesome felt like. If I didn't feel bad, I wouldn't be driven to feel good. If I didn't feel like I'm losing something, or like I'm letting go, or I'm losing grasp, if I didn't feel stressed out or pushed and pressured, I wouldn't be forced to be the person I can be. I would be just sitting over there, basically walking through life. I don't want that. I want to live. I want to take life and build it. I want to create something. I don't want to live in something that somebody else created. I want to design my life. And I want to design the world I live in. I want to build things. I want to create things. I want to help somebody that has nothing and help lift them up and build their world. I want to give people a chance to create a new reality for themselves. I want to give people the tools to change their world. But all I can do is offer all of it. I can't make anybody take anything. It's all about, what do you want out of life, right? Okay, we've been on this one screen forever. So I love this saying, you must be willing to shatter who you are for who you want to become. I feel like it's more true than anybody could ever imagine. It's just another unique way of saying, look, make decisions based on who you want to be, not who you are. Period. Make decisions based on who you want to become, not who you've become. Because who you've become, if this isn't where you want to be, this is a wrong mindset to be making decisions with, right? You want to make decisions based off of the guy that you aspire to be. Become the person that you want to meet. I love that phrase too. I love that phrase, or that saying, and I've said it for forever. And I think it was a twist on something that somebody else said, but I love the way that it was worded, because a lot of times we think about, who do I want to be? Become the person you want to meet. Who do you want to meet? You want to meet somebody that's powerful. You want to meet somebody that's got connections, that's successful. You want to meet somebody that's funny. You want to meet somebody that cares about people. You want to meet somebody that cares about you, right? So become the person that you want to meet. How many people would want to know that guy or that girl? I think there's a lot more than you would anticipate, right? Life, it's all about what you can achieve. And we got some cool stuff. So here is my first issue that's going to be coming out here very shortly. Seriously, this is so crazy just staring at it. I could stare at this thing all day long. It's pretty awesome. And The Best New Cities, that's one of the books that are the whole thing that I just wrote. 1,300 words, and it is an awesome article, by the way. So I'm really, really excited for that thing to come out. Right here is my challenge that I have for everybody. It's super easy. All you got to do is go to c2crea.com/21-day challenge, right? And when you go to the 21-day challenge, you sign up. It's absolutely easy. Every day you're going to get an email that basically motivates you, picks you up, tells you to write your goals, right? And then every night, just write your goals before you go to bed. Write 5 goals before you go to bed. And in the morning, wake up. I think I even have this on here. Yeah, there we go. So right here it has it. So you're going to join the challenge, right? This is the task. We're going to be, just so you understand, we're going to be making choices to improve our lives and become our version 2.0, right? My version 2.0, your version 2.0. So we need to join the challenge. Then start writing your goals for the next day right before you go to bed. All right. That way you have all night to dream about them. Because a lot of times if any of you guys do this where you wake up in the middle of the night, you're thinking about what you just thought about before you went to bed. If you started writing where you wanted to be, writing 5 goals, and you go to bed, you're going to be thinking about them all night long. You're going to wake up in the middle of the night and you may have an idea. Oh my gosh, wait a second. I know how I can get there faster, right? And then in the morning when you wake up, just write down 5 things that you could do that day to get you closer to whatever of those goals, right? You could have 2 tasks that get you closer to one goal, 1 to get you closer to another, and then another 2 that get you close to another 2, right? So it could be however, but write down 5 things that you could do. I could call Larry. If I talk to Larry, he might be interested in XYZ, right? And then join one of our Facebook groups, the Pete Asmus 21-Day Challenge. There's one for women too, but I need to fix that because nobody's even looking at that one. So just one group, the 21-Day Challenge. Now, let me go back real quick because I like this. Life is a result of what you do. Think about that. Life, it's just a result. Life is just a result. It's a result of what we do every single day. Life is a result of what we do consistently. Who we are. If you work out every day consistently, you're going to be in shape. If you eat crap every day consistently, you're not going to be in shape. You might even be fat. Right? You can't go work out once and then go, woo! All right, I'm done. That was awesome. You guys saw that, right? I should be huge tomorrow. It doesn't work like that. You got to work out over and over and over and over and over again. A lot of times overs, right? To the 100th power. In order to see those results. It's little baby steps in the same direction that achieve your goals. All right? So here's the other thing. Task of the week. For this week, I want you guys to do this. Say 2 things in the mirror that you're struggling with every morning. I.e., I have lost 10 pounds from eating healthier because I care about what happens to me and I am worth it, right? It's a great little saying to do. And then I'm a better person today than I was yesterday because I am doing things every day to improve who I am. Doing these little things, I'm telling you guys, you don't make one jump to the top of the pyramid. You take little tiny steps all the way there. These are all little steps that you can take to get big results. There we go. These are little hinges that swing big doors. All right? So utilize these tasks. Utilize these gems. I mean, seriously, it's like all of these things that I'm telling you guys to do, it has nothing to do with just having you guys do things for fun. It has the express idea for when you do these things, you will see results. And so will the people around you. I challenge you to write down your goals and do what I'm saying for 21 days and not have the people around you notice a difference in who you are. I had somebody get a mentor for free because he was so convinced that this person was committed to what they were doing because every day he saw him posting his goals up on the web, up on the internet. So you never know how you will truly benefit from what's going on. All right. So here we go. This is questions are the key, right? The first one was what is communication? We talked about that. Last week we talked about verbal communication and what that was. And today we are talking about nonverbal communication. All right. So nonverbal communication, the one that I really like is it's kind of like your billboard. It's what we look like when we're walking around every day, right? If you walk around and you're wearing a pair of beat up shoes, right? Nikes from 1980, you've got shorts on, you've got some shirt that's barely tucked in or not tucked in, but off the, whatever, you get my point. You look like you just woke up and you're homeless. You're probably not attracting the same people than if you were walking around in a suit. Now, I'm not saying everybody needs to walk around in a suit, but I am saying that if you want better opportunities, dress for success. Dress for the opportunity you want to get. Dress for the person, the people that you want to meet. Dress like the person that you want to become. I guess that's as easy as it is to say. How do you speak to yourself, right? And here's a big thing, because when we talk to ourselves, all right, what is your intent, right? Because we are two people. I know that you've got to do the same thing I do, or I guess maybe I'm just the only crazy person in the world, because I definitely talk to myself, and then I'll yell at myself, and I'll be like, well, no, I think I could do this. No, you can't do that. What are you talking about? Well, I just thought if I did it like this, and I literally will have these conversations with myself. What is the tone that you're speaking into yourself? Not just the words now. What is the tone? How do you sound when you're talking to yourself? Do you sound like you're talking to yourself like you're an idiot? Or are you talking to yourself like you could do anything? Are you building yourself up or tearing yourself down? Which one is it? Because you're not doing both. Believe me. And the tearing yourself down one tends to be a lot more effective, really fast, than building yourself up. But here's the key that not a lot of people know. Building yourself up can happen just as fast if you allow it to. If you're ever feeling bad, here's a cool thing. Bite on a pencil. It will naturally make your brain think that you're smiling and release endorphins. You got to do it for like 5 or 10 seconds. But literally, if you bite on a pencil for 5 to 10 seconds, your brain will release endorphins thinking that you're smiling, even if you're completely pissed off and mad. Just will happen. So what is your value? When you're looking around, what are you worth? Are you worth paying attention and focusing and building yourself up? Are you worth spending time on who you are to become a better person? Are you worth building your own value? Or are you a library? Are you just collecting information? Are you just listening to what I'm saying, but no intent on implementing it? Knowledge, it's just words. It's just information without application. Without application, knowledge does nothing. It solves nothing. It does nothing. It is only words until you apply it to something. And then it becomes a result. But in order to get knowledge to the result, the middle part is action. All right? All right, number 2 on this. What does your billboard say to others? So what does our billboard say to us, right? When the way we feel, this is one of the reasons I told you that I'm dressing better. Now, what does it say to others? So when you guys see me, when you see me like this, I don't even have a hat around me now. Compared to what I look like when I had the hat and I would just kind of be dressed whatever, it's got to be a different feeling. It's got to you've got to be looking at it from a different aspect. I just can't imagine. And I mean, except for some of you guys that obviously, Mike, Gil, you guys have known me for years, so it's not exactly the same, but it still to some degree has an effect over you guys watching me. Am I being serious? Are you going to take me seriously, or am I just out here goofing around, right? What is it that you do when you're talking to people? When you go to a meeting, do you look at what you look like? Do you care about what you are dressed like? Do you try to dress equal to or one level above the people that are going to be coming, or the dress code there? If you really want to take your life to the next level, you will. Think about the people you look up to. When you think about the celebrities or the successful people that you look up to, Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone's, right? All these guys. When you see them ever, do they look like a piece of crap ever? No. They make sure they're always dialed in. They make sure they're always looking tight, clean, great, because it's a brand. And consistency is where it's all at. Consistency shows us and helps us believe in somebody, right? When we talk about, well, do you trust them? What does trust really mean? Let's talk about that. What does trust mean? Trust means that if you do something, I believe I know what you're going to do. Or if something happens, I believe I know what you're going to do, right? I trust you. I'm going to hand you money. I trust that you're going to go and put it in the bank. I believe that when I do this action and I ask you to do this, I believe that it's going to happen. Why? Because you've shown it to me over and over and over and over. Does somebody hire somebody in and then just all of a sudden put them in charge of all their money and just hand them cash and everything? No. People that have that kind of access to like free range cash and things like that, petty cash, they've been there for a long time. They've earned it, right? So the question becomes, what are you doing? What are you doing to build that billboard for yourself? What do other people see when they look at you? Do they see somebody that's all put together? Do they see somebody that's successful? Do they see somebody that's on their way somewhere? Or do they see somebody that's been beat up, defeated, and going nowhere? That's something you can control. So what are you going to do about it? All right. Whoa, hello. First impressions are everything. And then, we talk about tonality, the tempo, the intent. There's so many different things that come into play besides just words. The way that you say them, the intent behind them, right? Those all have a meaning. And where, yes, verbal communication is great, the nonverbal, when it comes to communicating with others, is 60% more effective, more important. I think they listen to like maybe 30% of what you said actually gets like input, right? As far as understanding what you're saying. So when you guys are watching me, you guys get a much better communication of my message than everybody that's just only listening on the podcast. Because the podcast, all you have is the tonality, the tempo, you have those things, but you don't have all the visual cues that you guys watching do. So again, another reason why all of you guys listening to the podcast should come and join the 45 people, or 46 people actually, on right now that are watching this live, because this is where it is at. Now, number 3, can you create a billboard you want? Or how do you create the billboard you want? Well, it's all about the questions. I guess the better question would be, what type of billboard do you want to create? And then, what do you need to do to create that? Maybe some of you have to go buy a few more outfits. Maybe some of you just have to start washing your clothes and ironing your clothes. Maybe some of you have to start going to the dry cleaners. And maybe, just maybe, some of you will start to take this seriously and really become a professional at what you do and be on all the time. Get up in the morning early and do your task. Get up, get dressed, and get ready for the day. And go out and make something happen. Go out and create contacts, create meetings, create conference calls. You never know what could happen. It's all about you going out and making something happen, stirring up the dirt so you can find something, right? It's all about believing in you, believing in what you can do. Because the reality is, you can do anything. You just can't do everything, all right? Okay, so I love this one. I made this meme up last night, I think, and I love it because the reality is even I do that. I compare myself to where other people are, and it's like, well, stop. Why am I doing that? I don't know what they've gone through to get where they are. So I need to stop judging myself. I need to stop comparing myself, and I need to stop thinking that I'm in a race with anybody but me. Did I do better than I could have done? Did I do better than yesterday? Did I give it my all? If the answer is yes, it doesn't matter where I am at the end of the day compared to you or anybody else, because I am where I need to be. Stop looking around the world to find your validation. That validation is right within you. You are the person that can validate yourself, not anybody else. If you're looking for everybody else for validation, holy cow, man, you are going to be running in circles your entire life. Who cares? And I know I'm saying that loosely, right? Because to some degree, yeah, we obviously care because it's about branding and it's about image and that and that. But still, don't lose who you are because you don't feel like you're where you should be because of where somebody else is at. Who cares where they're at? Focus on you. And don't just focus on where you are. I want you to focus on where you want to be. And that doesn't mean in your neighbor's house. That means focus on where you really want to be, because you don't want your neighbor's house. You want your own house. You want your own building. You want your own business. You want your own this or that, right? So go out and make that happen. Go out and build that for yourself. Don't let anybody try and take it away. This is your book. Write it your way, right? Here are my books. Number 1, already written, forceyourdreams.com. Obviously, anybody that's signed up for this, you've gotten the opportunity to download my book as well. It's absolutely free, and it's only 40 pages. So the reality is you could read it very, very quickly. I designed it as a shorthand manual for all of my mentor students that I had because I wanted them to have something that they could look at every day and get motivated and get jacked back in, right? Get connected back in. My next book that's coming out, Questions Are the Key, which, like I said, I think I'm looking at a different name probably. I just don't know. Something's just I don't like the cover yet, and I don't want to release it until it's right. And then my next book that I'm going to be writing, which is Creating Unbreakable Habits to Become an Unmistakable Success. Because everything is all about habits. Everything that we do. All right, that was it. All right, let me go back to, you know what? I'll just leave it on this one right here, because I really like that one. So that's really all I have for today. Amazing that I came in right under my hour mark, too. That's pretty nuts. If any of you guys have any questions, thank you very much, Gil. The Zig Ziglar's Secrets of Closing the Sale is a great book on verbal communication. So there you go. Your results are nothing if you do nothing. That's right. That's another great one. But I wanted to thank everybody for being on tonight. I hope you guys learned something. In fact, I know you guys learned something tonight. I love how everybody stays on the whole time. Please do me a favor and share this. I'm going to be posting this up, or we should have this up either tonight or tomorrow morning. When you see it, please share it. I would love to get more people on. I'd love to be able to help more people and impact people's lives in a really positive and profound way. The only way I'm going to do that is to ask. I need help. I need others' help to get this to grow and to blow up, and anything that I can do to help you. If you guys have a topic you'd like me to cover, you have a question you'd like me to go over, or anything like that, please make sure you email me at pete@c2creia.com. That's pete@c2creia.com. You can also find me on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter. I'm all over the place. Just Google my name, Peteasmus. I promise. It's the best business card I've ever had. With that, guys, thank you so much for being on tonight. I appreciate you guys, as always, every Sunday night. This week is going to be insane. I've got a lot of cool stuff coming out. Like you guys already know, the LinkedIn group, got that. I'll be finalizing everything and taking over that tomorrow. And then, like I said, there's a lot of other really cool things that are about to be announced as well. I don't want to give away too much because it's going to be more fun as they get released. So with that, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
This is how we roll.
That's right. This is how we roll. You guys are amazing.
Let's go. Hanging around, singing out everything on the radio.
All right. Okay, thank you guys so much. As always, without you, there is no us, because you put the Y in our success. Have a great day. Have a great week. Set your week up for success and go make something happen.